All right, so we're taking the stairs. We're trying a completely new routine, all right? We're always talking about vitality. We're always talking about power, energy, lethargy. And I just listened to Dave Asprey. Gotta love living in the city. And Joel Salatin. And it's inspired me to try a completely new routine. Okay, so a couple different changes that we're gonna make. First change, canceling the gym membership, changing the exercise routine completely, getting out in the sun. I'm gonna do all my workouts out in nature, out in the sun, sprinting, bare feet on the ground. You know, I just came back rollerblading. I was going to the gym, and I just felt like my body was like, ew, like, why do I wanna go in there? It stinks. I don't have the sunlight on me. I feel better out here. Keep rollerblading. So I said, all right, I'll keep rollerblading. Realized there's a park over there. Just the beauty of the park, right next to the ocean. I just said, screw it. I'm gonna do an outdoor workout today. Pull-ups, dips, push-ups, sprints, lunges, squats. Felt 3 times as good. You know, I have kettlebells here in my apartment, and I'll just use those. I have everything I need. So the whole point being convenience, saving time, doing what feels right for the body, nature exposure. So that's gonna increase your energy, being out in nature, fresh air. So many times this door doesn't work. Fresh air, being connected to the electromagnet connection to the ground. I need that. I only put feet on the ground like maybe 3, 4, 5 times a week. That's wrong. That's horrible. And, you know, so I'm gonna save that money and just get out and start living a more natural life. So I'm gonna show you guys before and after results in this video about, you know, how far my physique has come, how much fat I've put on in 3 months, ever since I moved from Boca Raton. And so, I'll show you right now. So I know I've gained fat. I wanted to bulk up, but I've also had lethargy. Okay, I'm just gonna take pictures. We gotta go back down and grab the water. So we're changing a whole bunch of new things because I'm realizing what he's saying has to do a lot with yoga tradition and what kind of water you drink, if you keep it in the sunlight or not, how much energy it gives you, what kind of workouts you're doing, if you're doing the minimal amount of stimulus you need and then you get out and rest, or, you know, if you're overtraining, if you're doing inefficient forms of cardio, inefficient forms of eating too. So we're gonna change up the diet, and we're gonna do this for a good couple months, see what happens. You know, because currently I'm eating a lot of kale, a lot of peas, a lot of vegetables. Really not a lot of meat, just bone broth. Because I had some GI issues. I had some irritable bowel syndrome, some food sensitivities. And so I was thinking meat is gonna be hard on my digestive system. But I'm running this new experiment because what Dave Asprey is talking about is very interesting. The mineral concentration in plants versus animals. So the whole idea is that plants have anti-nutrients that actually leach minerals out of your body. If you don't have minerals, it's pretty much like having a TV that can't conduct electricity. It's just gonna have static all the time. So you need the minerals to conduct the electricity to generate energy. And so plants, I've experienced this, they actually have a lot of anti-nutrients like kale and beets, sweet potatoes. And so what they're doing is a defense mechanism. The plant actually, it doesn't want to kill you right away. So it's seeping minerals out of your body. Phytates, lectins, I think it's oxalates, POL, pole. It's gonna hit you with a pole. You're gonna run into a pole if you eat too many vegetables. So that's why, you look at nature, there's a mixture. You look at how most people live, they're going to eat the meat when they have it. They're gonna eat the fish when they have it. You're gonna eat the fruits because the fruits want you to eat them. The fruits actually want you to eat their seeds so that you poop them out and they propagate. So fruits are not as toxic. A lot of the vegetables, the green leafy vegetables, they have the anti-nutrients because they actually don't want you to eat them. But we've lumped it all together. But they're not all equal. And so we're gonna see what happens when we mix up the different diet. So also experimenting with different eggs, and we're gonna be experimenting with raw dairy. Mostly a lot of kefirs and maybe some raw milk. I know that goat's milk goes very well with my system. And so the only reason I was taking, I love the city. The only reason I was taking all the plants is because they actually trap the mycotoxins and they pull them out of your system. And so that's why I was eating the kale. They stimulate the bile from your gallbladder to actually pull out the mold mycotoxins, the poisons that the mold actually creates. And so I got that from Dr. Jill Krista. But, I think I'm getting over it. I've been on my anti-mold agents for quite some time now. And, I'm still gonna have some, but I'm gonna decrease. I'm not gonna be extreme. I'm not gonna go on this carnivore diet. I'm gonna increase the amount of meat and eggs gradually. Grass-fed butter. So this is gonna be a fun experiment, isn't it? Changing up all these different things. And what else? The whole philosophy that you need squats and deadlifts and weightlifting, I don't believe in it, because first of all, you gotta listen to your body. Squats actually hurt my hip a little bit, and I do them as well as I can. Power cleans, I'm not allowed to drop the weight, so I'm like dropping it on my hip a little bit. I don't think it's related, but you never know. Deadlifts, I almost pulled a muscle the other day. And so I'm not saying that it's not good for people, but you gotta know your body. You gotta know what your goals are. You gotta know what your body's saying based on your technique, based on your physiology, based on your previous sports experience. You have to listen to your body. And so for me, my body's saying, get in touch with the ground more. Do more sun salutations out in nature. Climb the stairs with this, 45-pound jug of water. Rollerblade more. Do more sprinting. Do more bear crawling. My right shoulder is kind of hurting from doing military presses, but it doesn't hurt when I do kettlebells, overhead press. So I'm gonna be doing swings. And also, a lot of people relate to this. You don't want to always have to have a gym. You want to be able to travel and use body weight. You don't want to have to be thinking, well, where am I gonna get a gym? I don't like that thought. I don't want to train myself into that. It's anti-adventure. It's a limitation. Really, it's a dependence. If your muscle mass is dependent on that form of training, it limits your opportunities to be free from them. And so my opinion, for me, for anybody who else wants freedom, expansion, power, be able to use your body weight, because you're everywhere you go. There you are, with you. 2 abs. 1, 2, 3. Okay, we're there. Here we go. 5 squats. Whew. That's the workout for your abs. There you go. And so I'm a firm believer in training freedom, in natural training. In nature, you're not necessarily going to have a bar on your back. You're going to be picking up stuff like on the farm. You're going to be walking with loads. You're going to be lunging with weights. picking stuff up for repetitions. You know, very rarely doing a heavy deadlift for 1, 2, 3 reps. More is going to be loading, unloading, carrying, repetitions. Going upstairs, going up hills with weights. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna use the kettlebells, lunges, split squats. So enough talk, I'll show you.